All right. Thank you so much, Vin, for your sharing. That was a very interesting session. I
Thank
would
you.
like to,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thanks for having me here.
yes, I'd like to follow up with a couple of questions, which I'm sure our students are very interested in. So
Sure.
first of all, I thought your discussion on the central bank digital currency
Yeah.
were very spot on and
Mhm.
very accurate.
Mhm.
But one of the questions my students are often asking is, like in an economy like China, where their e-payment systems is already very well established and extensive, like they have WeChat Pay, they have Alipay. So what would, in an economy like that, why would they still be interested in this central bank digital currency? And how would it help or complement or supplement this current e-payment systems that they have?
Sure. It's a very interesting question. Typically, anyone who is looking at economy from a finance point of view will be asking this question, because are you going to challenge or you are going to cannibalize the existing legal tender? Now, let me share with you, be it WeChat Pay, be it Alipay, any of these are the payment channels or the way which the payments are made done. In all these aspects, I'm not mentioning one or two, but each and every aspect, if they want to conduct business in, let's say, China, they have to use base currency as yuan. So the referral point is always yuan. Now, what we are trying to do is we are not cannibalizing yuan. We are just converting yuan into digital. So the way which the legal tenders, the bill, physical currencies, which physical bill is moving around, it will be replaced with crypto yuan or a yuan coin, a digital yuan, which is exactly pari passu with a bill. Just the change happen is the way it transfers. That's it.
So in
So we are
effect,
not cannibalizing the legal tenders. We are not changing anything in the economy. 101.
so in effect, having systems like Alipay and WeChat Pay actually facilitates this process, right?
Yes,
Because they're
yes,
already recording everything electronically. So
yes,
having a digital token, they are actually tracing
yes.
what they record to the actual coins itself. The
Right.
digital.
So base currency is still going to be yuan.
So then, if let's say Singapore issues their own digital currency, does that mean that that will be the death of physical currency? Does that mean that we then now have to use these kind of e-payment solutions to do all kinds of payments in
So right
order
now, in Singapore context, you are using, let's say, GrabPay. In reality, you are using a electronic Singapore dollar back of it, which we call it as base currency, right? Right. And that technology will be moving from electronic to a cryptographic technology. That's exactly what's going to happen.
I see,
And
I
that
see.
is endorsed by the government or the central bank.
Okay, okay. So the other question I have is you talked about Libra, right? And that's always a very interesting point for students. And the question I always get from them is, in contrast to the central bank digital currency, which central banks have full control of, the concept of Libra is that it's supposed to replace or facilitate international transactions, right? So in that sense, I would think that the central banks have very little control over a currency that is not centrally owned by the central bank. So I'm just wondering what do you think about the prospects of Libra happening, and how would
Very
central
interesting.
banks adopt this kind of technologies or this kind of currency?
Okay, so I would like to share with you some experience which I had personally in Nigeria. When we are talking about Nigeria, we are talking about the local currency devalued, inflation rate is high. Uh, uh, the citizens, which is one of the most populated country in Africa, right? Economy is very strong. Everyone is actually talking about everyone is talking about the local currencies, which is highly inflated, and the way which it's transact is very expensive. If you want to move dollars from point A to point B, you're talking about roughly 15%, 20% paying as a transaction fee. This is how the reality in Africa. Now, if you look at currently the biggest Bitcoin adopters in the world, Nigeria is number 3 or number 4. It is surprising. 7% of the Bitcoin is actually held by Nigerians. Why? It is not illegal. I'm not talking about illegal activities here. Because, the way which the cost of transactions and the people believe in national currency or the legal tender, they lost trust in that. So people started taking cryptocurrency as the next wave of holding it, right? So it is not only with that particular country. You're talking about roughly many other countries, including developed countries, are facing the same challenge, right? Governments are printing currencies without having a backing. So this leads to inflation. Now we are talking about more and more stimulus packages coming, injecting into the economy. This leads into inflation, if not today, maybe tomorrow or some other. Then how are you going to control this situation? You need a blockchain-based cryptocurrency, that technology in place, where you know that what is the total tokens mined, what is the total going to be used. And that tokens or the coins are backed with real-time assets, like what Libra is doing. Forget about the government legal tenders. That has to move, whether they follow the physical, legal, the bill or crypto government tokens, central bank currencies. We're talking about privately, there is going to be an international currency forming up, and ideally people will start believing big organizations to take that initiative. Rather than tomorrow, if I'm coming out with a Libra, people won't believe me. But if Facebook is coming with that, yes, people will. But Facebook being the first mover, they are facing a lot of challenge in terms of regulatory. So what will happen is the second mover will be having the best advantage. We don't know who, but Facebook clears up pretty much all the challenges, regulatory challenges, etc., which has been formed up. They're working very hard to clear that off from different jurisdiction. And the second mover who comes in, we just will be having a easy way through. So I feel, yes, backed with credibility of companies like Facebook or any other, strong balance sheets, definitely people will take it. And one of the key usage would be unbanked application in countries like developing or third world countries.
Mm-hmm. All right. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think that's a very optimistic note.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I'd like to thank you, Vin, for sharing your thoughts, sharing your time, and sharing your expertise. I think our students will definitely benefit a lot from it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.